Hello there, folks. Today I'm going to be doing reading a bunch of random things to practice my ASMR voice video. Actually the last one did pretty well. That one was inaudible whispers, but this one will be soft spoken. And truly the crux of this video is this beautiful baby bud. Yeah, he's a beautiful boy. So he's gonna be hanging out with us. And for today, the random things to read that I chose was random, interesting science paper abstracts. So hopefully this video will put you right to sleep. Or if you like random science facts, then maybe it'll teach you a little something you hadn't heard of before. Since I'm a tiny YouTuber, I don't really know the copyright kind of rules. And I decided to just read from the abstracts of these papers since those are usually public information, and I will also cite all of them below, so hopefully there are no issues there, although they might be like, why on earth is someone using my science as an ASMR video? But that's okay. I hope that all the verbose, complex words and nonsensical terminology relaxes or puts you to sleep. And when I say nonsensical terminology, I don't mean it's nonsensical science. I mean it's nonsense to me because I'm not a scientist. So, the first two papers that I'm going to read are both about essentially tractor beams. I, don't want to overstate or misinterpret the science too much as a non-scientist, but they literally labeled the abstract tractor beams and related topological tweezers, so I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say they're tractor beams. So, if you don't know Star Trek, they have tractor beams where they shoot a beam from the ship and it pulls in another ship. And so what this scientist is doing is shining a light on an object in order to pull the object closer. So this abstract is by David Greer. The theory of photokinetic effects clarifies how a light wave's phase and amplitude profiles govern the force and the torque experienced by illuminated objects. When used to create tractor beams, this framework identifies interesting topological modes of light. Another one with the similar group of scientists is the dislocation reactions, grain, boundaries, and irreversibility in two-dimensional lattices using topological tweezers. This first author is William Irvine. So this abstract says, or the significance section says, the properties of real-world materials are typically determined by small collections of defects within them. One common defect, a dislocation, results from removing half a row of atoms from a crystal. leaving behind the other half that now ends abruptly at a tip in the crystal. The termination point behaves like a point particle that carries a topological charge, obeys dynamic laws, and interacts with other such particles to create grain boundaries. We report a method to precisely manipulate dislocations by using specifically designed light fields, topological tweezers, to massage an experimental model system consisting of microscopic colloids. We use this tool to study their interactions and complex collective dynamics that are not always as reversible as one might think. Buddy's doing a scratch and a clean, but he'll be back. Come on, buddy. Yeah, good bud. Hi, baby boy. Okay, good boy. The next one I'll read you is about sleep. So the circadian rhythm, which you might have heard about, if people feel like their circadian rhythm is off, they have a hard time sleeping. It's kind of like the rhythm with which humans go throughout their day. At least that's how we talk about it colloquially. But circadian rhythm is actually the timing scale of 3 different proteins in our bodies that interact with one another. At least that's my understanding of it. So I'm going to read this abstract from a paper called Reconstitution of an Intact Clock Reveals Mechanisms of Circadian Timekeeping. The first author is Archana Chavan et al., as they say. Alright, so here is the abstract. Circadian clocks control gene expression to provide an internal representation of local time. We report reconstitution of a complete cyanobacterial circadian clock in vitro, including the central oscillator, signal transduction pathways, downstream transcription factor, and promoter DNA. The entire system oscillates autonomously and remains phase coherent for many days with a fluorescence-based readout. Fluorescence-based readout. Fluorescence-based readout. Fluorescence, fluorescence, fluorescence. Fluorescence, fluorescence, fluorescence. A fluorescence-based readout that enables real-time observation of each component simultaneously without user intervention. We identified the molecular basis for loss of cycling in an arrhythmic mutant and explored fundamental mechanisms of timekeeping. I think I lost that one. Molecular basis for loss of cycling. Molecular reason why the circadian rhythm gets off. In an arrhythmic mutant and explored fundamental. Oh, that's a separate. That's a separate part of the sentence. Okay, so they identified the molecular basis, the molecular reason for why there's loss of cycling, why the cycling gets off the timing in an arrhythmic mutant. don't know what a rhythmic mutant is. Maybe different proteins. A rhythmic mutant, a rhythmic mutant, a rhythmic mutant, a rhythmic mutant. And explored fundamental mechanisms of timekeeping in the cyanobacterial clock. We find that SASA, a circadian sensor histidine kinase associated with clock input or output. Wow, I like how I messed up the simplest word. With clock output, engages directly with KAIB on the KAIC hexamer to regulate period and amplitude of the central oscillator. SAS-A uses structural mimicry, structural mimicry, structural mimicry, structural mimicry. Uses structural mimicry to cooperatively recruit the rare fold switching conformation of Chi-B to Chi-C hexamer to form the nighttime repressive complex and enhance rhythmicity of the oscillator, particularly under limiting concentrations of Chi-B. Thus, the expanded in vitro clock reveals previously unknown mechanisms by which the circadian system of cyanobacteria maintains the pace and rhythmicity under variable protein concentrations. The next one is a cat-related paper. I don't know why I sounded like Tobias from Arrested Development. So, this paper is called The Characteristic Response of Domestic Cats to Plant Iridoids, Allowing Them to Gain Chemical Defense Against Mosquitoes, by Reiko Uenoyama et al. Abstract is: domestic cats and other felids rub their faces and heads against catnip, Nepeta cataria, that's the Latin name for catnip, apparently, and silvervine, Actinidia polygama, and roll on the ground as a characteristic response. While this response is well known, its biological function and underlying mechanism remain undetermined. Here we uncover the neurophysiological mechanism and functional outcome of this feline response. We found that the iridoid nepetalactol, iridoid nepetalactol is the major component of silvervine that elicits this potent response in cats and other felids. I'm very curious now what other felids are. If felines are, big cats, small cats, all the cats, what are felids? Nepetalactol increases plasma beta endorphin levels in cats, while pharmacological inhibition of, I forgot what that micro. There's a Greek letter, I forgot. Mu. Mu, I think, stands for micro, but it's called Mu. Mu2. Okay. While pharmacological inhibition of mu opioid receptors suppresses the classic rubbing response, rubbing behavior transfers nepetalactol onto the faces and heads of respondents, where it repels the mosquito Aedes albopictus. That's interesting. So maybe cats like catnip because it keeps mosquitoes away. Maybe that's what the paper is working towards. Thus, self-anointing behavior helps to protect cats against mosquito bites. The characteristic response of cats to nepetalactol via the mu-opioid system provides an important example of chemical pest defense using plant metabolites in non-human mammals. Also, they're using like one of the receptors. They're calling it mu-opioid. I wonder if it's a similar kind of receptor that drugs it for humans cats get with catnip. Or maybe it's just a coincidence that it's called the mu-opioid receptor. Alright, so Buddy has called it quits for today. He's about due for bath time, so he's sleeping or laying on my coat, taking a bath right now. So that'll be the end of this video. I still had a few more papers that were interesting to read, so maybe I'll do those on another video. Let me know if you like this style, and I'll do more of them. Thanks so much. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day.